For all of you that said that the last Warbond was mid, guess what? This one looks stuffed to the brim. We have the Control Group Warbond launching July 17th, a week from its announcement. And not joking, when this trailer was going, it just kept going. At a moment, I thought they were like, alright, they're done. They still had more to show. So let's go over what they actually had to show for us in this Warbond. Starting with, we have the primary weapon, the VG-70 Variable, a 7-barreled volley gun with 3 different firing modes. Automatic, which has 3 selectable RPMs, volley, which fires a single shot from each barrel at once, and total, which fires all ammunition remaining in the mag. Researchers noted that the total firing mode with a lot of ammunition may result in bodily harm to the user, which we saw visibly in that trailer. We saw the man go flying from using that gun. This is probably the thing I am most excited about. Part ways because it basically looks like an alien version of the 4th Horseman from Destiny, and I absolutely love that gun. Regardless, it seems like it is actually applicable in all cases. It may be a heavy penetration primary that isn't explosive, because you can see very clearly, at least in the volley mode that might be heavy pen, it takes out a Hulk, which, if I recall, even though the it's not needing anti-tank, you still need at least heavy pen for that. So this could be a take into any territory and be viable in any territory, depending on what you want it to kill. Next up is something that showed pretty little, and I have a feeling it might be nifty, but not exactly that powerful. The G31 Arc Grenade. A lightweight G31 bounces while discharging electricity that strikes enemies and Helldivers in proximity. I could see this working if it's partway stunning, but also more ways damaging. But at the same time, it's kind of like we've got a good selection of grenades right now. We need something excitingly unique to kind of replace the king of grenades we have right now. Just my opinions, but then again, it could still be a ringer. For those of you wanting a new railgun type weapon, guess what? It is coming with the PLAS-45 Epoch support weapon, which charges plasma into a focused sphere, which is then fired. The weapon is ready for battlefield use, but additional research data suggests it can explode if overcharged. No safe mode is available, and we're sure you can handle it, Helldiver. This is what field testing is all about. So we clearly see in the trailer somebody going pop, so it's basically a shoulder-fired version of the railgun. It might be a little bit different because instead of a, metal slug that we are flinging at massively high speeds, this time it is just a large ball of plasma energy. Either way, it is a shoulder-fired version of the PLAS-1 Scorcher, so I'm excited for this, not to mention another weapon that I have to make sure I don't hold the trigger down too long. In that moment where I mentioned it just keeps on going, a new Sentry gun in the A-LAS-98 Laser Sentry. For this Sentry, the ammunition canisters on standard turrets have been replaced with a supersized heatsink, allowing for the potential for infinite laser firing. However, R&D would like to remind users that the turret can overheat and explode if the laser is continuously active with no cooldown. So I don't know if this means that they're introducing a button that you can deactivate or put your turret on timeout while it's active, but that would honestly be required because in other cases that you're just in a hot area, turrets will keep firing and it will blow itself. So at this time, hopefully there might be a turret deactivation command. Regardless, we'll just have to wait and see. We have to see if this is like heavy pen, if this is a copy paste of the scythe. If it's something more like the laser cannon that is a bit more heavy penetration, that will be more welcome. But of course, if it's only the scythe, it would be handy, but it will fall very quickly in higher tier difficulties. And indeed, the most curious and, as they put, the most significant and exciting development for the Ministry of Defense, the new Lift 182 Warp Pack Stratagem. R&D has harnessed the power of dark fluid to generate a somewhat stable wormhole on demand. Once the wormhole is active, wearers can teleport short distances with no cooldowns between jumps, and in practice the wearer is pulled into the singularity, dematerialized and rematerialized once again in a new location. And some warnings! The head of R&D noted that the dematerialization process can be somewhat painful, so I imagine it takes a little bit of health, and that users should bear in mind that the wormhole cannot maintain integrity for extended periods. Each jump will further destabilize it, and the wearer may experience death should the singularity fully collapse, a small price to pay for the ultra-convenient traversal. So if you wanted a purely ground-based traversal, there is the Warp Pack en route. However, it does seem like a give and take, and I'm not sure if by the description it means that you activate it and you can do jumps, and then once it's done, it collapses and kills you. But that would be tricky. I imagine overuse would be the way that does a wormhole like collapses and kills you. Otherwise, no one would bring it, because if it's just activate, you teleport a few times until it explodes and kills you, that would be too much of a price to pay versus something like the regular jump pack. And then we have the armor, and don't forget about proper personal protective equipment. Good field testing involves enforcing safety protocols, which is why we're outfitting Control Group with 2 sets of armor designed to provide adequate battlefield protection. For medium armor, we've included the AD-26 Bleeding Edge, that will allow for protection and greater ease of movement combined. But for more dangerous experiments, there is the AD-9 I'm not sure exactly how to say this, AD-49 Apollonian heavy armor. It's Apollo-Nian. So with that, there is another medium and heavy armor added to the field, and I do believe the Superstore does have a light variant. I'll have to revisit it towards the end, but they did include a exciting new passive, Adreno-Defibrillator. After you take lethal damage and the Adreno-Defibrillator detects that the user has collapsed and activates and revives the user to full health. R&D did indicate the Adreno-Defibrillator only has enough charge for one-time use, and that the user will be losing health continually after using it. So this doesn't seem like a save the life sort of thing. This seems like go out swinging and extend the time period swinging. So you will be losing life after being rezzed, but it doesn't say you can't increase the health. So theoretically, if you had somebody that was on their feet with a stem pistol, you could be an infinite zombie. Now, with that, there is the full screen of everything coming with the premium Warbond, and once again, the trailer did show what is coming in the Superstore. It doesn't seem to be like the last one where they had armor and a weapon. It seems like they might stop putting weapons in the Superstore, at least in the case of good weapons, maybe. But with that, that is the end of this little preview into the new Helldivers Warbond. Frankly, I'm just excited that it's kind of going into the territory I'm not sure we would have ever done, and that is taking alien tech and making use of it for ourselves, other than the case of like Meridia, where we used Illuminate Dark Fluid for that one scenario, but then we never did it later. So, and again, delving into alien tech, it opens the door for potentially a automaton Warbond that has lots of automaton weaponry or incendiary shotguns or something like that. With that, my name is the Mad Scorpion, and I will see you in the next one.